They say the first finish line changes you, and they're right. My first sprint triathlon was proof that I could actually do this, that the idea born in that bar in Mexico had somehow turned into something real. But more than that, it showed me how much I love being part of this community. The early mornings, the nerves, the high fives at the finish. From then on, it wasn't about racing or times. It was about having fun and finding belonging. Because once you cross that first line, you don't want just another medal. You want to feel that connection again. So I set out to train like an actual triathlete, to keep growing and see how far I could really go. Next up, how do you train for 3 sports at once and still have a life? Training for a triathlon isn't about time management. It's about survival. I swim 2 to 3 times a week, bike at least twice, and I commute on my bike whenever I can. Running? 2 or 3 times a week, often with my dogs as my training buddies. At 20 minutes of yoga at lunch, a full hot yoga session with the wife on the weekend, and daily dog walks. Because apparently triathletes don't get rest days, we get active recovery. And as incredible as it may sound, I try to sleep 8 hours a night. Doesn't always happen, but hey, recovery is training you can't see. Up next, the sport that almost ended me and why I keep going back to the pool. If you ever want to feel humble, swim next to a 10-year-old at swim club. I used to think swimming was about strength. It turns out it's about rhythm, patience, and not inhaling half the pool. I focus on technique, breathing, and control. Swimming fast starts with swimming slow. And that's not just poetic, it's survival. Some days I glide through the water, others I look like I'm fighting invisible sharks. But every lap counts, and every breath teaches focus. Next, the wind, my worst enemy and my best coach. In Saskatchewan, even the wind does intervals. You can do a full loop 360 degrees and somehow it's always against you. You start the ride thinking, oh, tailwind today. 5 minutes later, never mind. The wind here has personality and it's not friendly, but it's the best coach you could ask for. It builds patience, power, and a sense of humor too. Every ride reminds me the goal isn't to escape resistance, it's to keep pedaling through it. And when I finally hop off the bike, that's when the real pain begins. Running is the final exam of triathlon, and the teacher is mean. It's the one sport that doesn't need gear, but it'll humble you faster than any hill climb. Break runs, progression runs, recovery runs, they all teach you one thing: control. Pace feels easy until it doesn't. And when it starts to hurt, that's when you learn to stay steady, not heroic. Because triathlon isn't about who goes fastest, it's about who slows down the least. But even the best training plan falls apart without one thing: fuel. You can train all you want, but if you eat wrong, your stomach will stage a protest mid-race. Race morning starts early. I'm up before sunrise for a light breakfast and coffee, at least 2.5 hours before start time. Because nothing says bad idea like swimming on a full stomach. During race, one of my gels always has caffeine. That's mid-race rocket when your legs start negotiating. And I've always loved gummies. They're my edible motivation. Tiny, chewy promises that everything's going to be okay. Nutrition isn't about perfection, it's about knowing what works for you. One coffee, one gel, and one gummy at a time. But there's one thing no gel can fix: the battle in your head. Triathlon is 10% fitness and 90% convincing yourself not to quit. Progress is slow. Some days you fly, others you sink, sometimes literally. But every training session builds something you can't see: discipline, confidence, belonging. My goal isn't to be the fastest anymore. It's to be consistent, to show up even when it's cold, windy, or inconvenient. Because showing up is the training. And if you think training is tough, just wait until you hear what came next.